Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. We're here with Mark today, and he said that I'm going to run the video, but he's going to do all the talking. That's how it's going to go.
Oh, this is how we're going to do this.
This is what happened last time.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We're here to talk about Mark and his diet and how things are going.
I am not on a diet.
Mark's eating patterns.
Have changed my eating patterns.
He has changed his way of thinking about food drastically.
Definitely changed the way I think about food. Yes.
Oh, can I tell the funny we were
You
talking
can
about
tell
this morning?
anything you want to.
We were reading, we do an Old Testament reading, one chapter a day during breakfast every morning. So we're in
Joshua 20
Joshua.
today. Yep.
But something came up and we were talking about eating and overeating and stuff. And we've decided that when God gave them quail, enough that they came out their noses, that is a good term for gluttony.
Yeah, if you've eaten so much that not only does it fill up your stomach and fill up your belly, but it comes out your nose, that's probably more than you needed to sustain the life that God has given you.
Yes.
So definitely, yeah. We've been talking a lot about food, not because we're obsessed with food. In fact, to some extent, the whole idea of this for me is to not be obsessed with food, to not think of food as a go-to thing. Like,
I'm bored.
Hey, I'm bored.
doing it.
I'm going to stick my hand in a bag of chips. So one thing is, I haven't had any chips in almost a month. It's been 4 weeks. Well, Monday will be 4 weeks. So how many days has that been? So in 26 days, I have lost 15 pounds. My blood pressure has gone from like 135 or 140 over 85 or 90. At the doctor the other day, it was 120 over 82. That is the best blood pressure I have had in a long time.
Probably since we were married.
Probably 20 years, yeah. To have 120 over 82. And he checked it 3 times like he always does because he likes to
checks it.
He likes to try to blow my arm up. It's like, hey, let's pump this thing up to about 900.
And it's so funny because every time he does it, he'll be like, "Oh, do you mind if I check that again?" And it's like, we knew you were going to check it.
You're
again.
going to check it 3 times. We
times
know
every
this is
time.
what you're going to do. So I did have a doctor's appointment. Virginia went with me because, one,
COVID.
I need a babysitter for doctor's appointments, and then 2, she can drive and I can't. So, and dragging Sarah and 7 kids into the waiting room of a doctor's office during this whole coronavirus stuff. Probably not wise. And it's just a pain in the butt to have everybody out if you don't need to. So it's really nice that Virginia's able to drive and willing to drive and comprehensive enough that she knows what's been going on with me, with my eating and sleeping and how many spells I have a day and, you know, that kind of thing. Falls. Because I had forgotten when we went to the doctor the other day to talk about just general checkup stuff, which he has always wanted to see me in about a month because of my blood pressure. He said, I don't need to see you for 3 months because your blood pressure's good. So that means I actually get to go to the doctor less, which costs less money and it's just more, less hassle. So that was really nice. So that was good. What was I talking about? Oh, Virginia reminded me of stuff. So I went in there and I was like, yeah, I fell, I don't know, because he asked, are you still having spells and, have you had any more issues with balance and mental fog and things like that? And I said, well, I did fall, and I thought it was like a week or so earlier. I was like, I don't know, it was probably a week or so ago. And Virginia says, that was last night or the night before, whatever it was she said. So I still have the mental problems, this diet, and I gotta, it's wet and rainy and yucky outside.
And we did a whole bunch of moving furniture
We
yesterday.
moved a bunch of furniture yesterday, so we dug up all the dust in the entire house. So pardon me if my nose is a little... Anyway, I don't have COVID. I promise. It's mostly dust. This does it to me every single time. So anyhow, we went to the doctor.
Yeah.
And my blood pressure's down. And I still have problems with memory, and I still have spells every day, but I do feel like I have a little more stamina. So when I go for walks, I don't feel nearly as tired, and sometimes I can go a little longer than I had been. Sometimes, it depends on the day.
But
Sometimes I feel good, sometimes I feel terrible.
But the mental stuff, he still needs to take someone on a walk with him because he sometimes forgets the walk.
Oops. Funny enough, Virginia and I were on a walk the other day when Unum called. Now, Unum is the disability insurance company that says that I'm not disabled by their qualification, even though
Through your
through my previous work. Even though multiple doctors have said, yes, I do have dystonia, yes, I do have other conditions, yes, I do have times when I fall, I'm not allowed to drive, I'm not allowed to go to doctor's appointments without somebody babysitting me for my own safety, yet they've deemed that I'm not actually disabled. So they're not, they just don't want to pay, which is, I understand. You want to be critical. So anyhow, this lady called because through the insurance company, I still have a life insurance that we don't have to pay the premium on, which is like $6 a month or something. It's not expensive. But so they're waiving that $6 a month or whatever it is for my life insurance policy.
That's the only thing we
That's
get.
the only
We
thing.
don't get, like,
That's the only thing we're
insurance
getting from them. So we're no longer getting anything else from them. But they wanted to call and talk to me for like 10 or 15 minutes or 20. I don't know how long it was. Like she wanted to talk for a while. And Virginia and I just started walking, so the phone rang. I was like, well, I don't know who it is, so we'll answer it. So I answered it. And normally I struggle to talk on the phone. And the reason I struggle to talk on the phone is it needs to be like quiet with nothing else going on so that I can concentrate, so that I can think about the questions and the answers and I can do what I'm doing. So we're walking around. I don't
Probably
know.
answer your
On the dead
questions
end
wrong.
road. I have no idea what I told her. And I don't remember, like Virginia said, we did multiple laps where we would go around this small cul-de-sac that we live on.
We have
which is what we
almost
do
no
every day.
traffic.
Yeah.
So
Some days we see a car on our walk. Usually not, depending on time of day. But anyhow, so evidently we did a couple of laps while I was walking and talking on the phone, and I never looked to cross the street, I guess, and I never, I don't remember.
this is why we
Walking.
send Virginia.
Right.
She's like his guide dog. You know, someone who's blind who has a dog that will stop when traffic's coming and stuff. That's Virginia's or Naomi's job.
Yeah. So while they're asking me, how are you doing? And I'm trying to tell her how I'm doing, I don't remember what I'm doing.
Well, and of
So,
course,
but there's nothing wrong with me. It's all psychological.
and of course, you never want to think the worst of yourself. Like, you don't want to say, yes, I fall every day.
Right.
You want to say, I was able to walk 3 laps on our little road.
Right.
Which is less than a mile if you walk
Right.
3 laps.
Yeah.
So you want to think of the positive and forget the negative, and I think our brains do that. Just generally, we look at the positive, and so Mark has.
But to some extent, they want you to tell them best case scenario, and I want to tell them reality.
Yeah.
But recognizing that if I say something, like she asked me something about driving maybe, and she said, and you still don't drive? I said, I haven't driven in over 3 years. It's not safe for me to drive.
Right.
It's not safe for me to cross the street by myself. Like, obviously I shouldn't go put our 5,000-pound van with a gas pedal and run it into people and not even know what I'm doing. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time, but it very well could happen. So it's not safe for me to drive. But it's like they're trying to get you to admit something.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
no,
it's like-
stupid, I can't drive. That would be dangerous. And I'm not the kind of person that puts other people's lives at risk for no reason. I know I can't drive.
Right. And like Mark can feel he's coming on.
Sorry.
Usually, like most of the time, he knows and he can sit down or whatever needs to be
Right.
done.
Or
But
called.
but when you're driving, you can't just always pull over. There's not always like
Right. If you're on the interstate, I mean, even from point A to point B, where we are, there's no shoulder on the road between here and like the hospital or town. There's no
you just
shoulder
have
on
to
the road.
stop in the middle of the road.
Stop in the middle of the road and be like, well, I'm not feeling good, so I'm just going to stop right here and you guys can just go around or something. That doesn't make any sense. I can't do that. And I don't know necessarily when they're coming on, so like stopping before you know you need to stop is also very difficult.
Yeah, it's not like he can say, "Oh, I know I'm going to have one in the next half hour, so I shouldn't drive now." It's he never knows when they're coming on.
Well, the other night I washed a few dishes. It was 5-10 minutes washing. You're standing at a sink washing dishes. Not a difficult task. Not very strenuous. Not hard on my brain or anything. Just washing a couple dishes. I walked from the sink probably, 10, 12 feet around that corner. And all of a sudden I was on the floor. And I'm like, well, this is fun.
So, the diet is helping though. He's losing weight.
I am losing weight. I am
He's-
15 pounds less. So I am 5% less than I was. That's not a ton of weight compared to last time. I think we did like at 11 pounds and 14 pounds. So it's only been about another pound and a half in the last week. But I think we leveled out, that whole you lose a bunch of water weight at first. Trying to do the best that I can. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So he's doing great.
Sorry. I'm doing great, yes.
He's definitely thinking about food differently and really reading his body cues of whether he's hungry or not hungry, not just eating because everybody else is eating.
Yeah, yesterday was weird. So a lot of times I eat lunch and then I eat supper and then I try not to eat a snack I try not to eat a snack at night. But nighttime is the time when I'm much more likely to actually feel hungry and actually want to eat something. Which actually, and that's also when I tend to have my spells and feel worse, so I'm not able to like, oh, I'll go for a walk for 15 minutes and that will distract me from wanting to eat. I have found some things like apple cider vinegar and some lemon juice in water is good to, like, one, it puts something tasty in your body, balances out your electrolytes, stuff like that. So a lot of times when you're hungry, that's actually what's going on, is you're just needing something, some mineral, some nutrient. So I'm trying to do that.
Other things you do to not want to eat.
Yeah, other things, just not sitting there looking at food all the time. I used to have over here by the bed, a little stash of candy and a little stash of bag of chips and maybe some this and maybe something of that. And it was like, okay, now on my desk, on my bedside, there's a cup of water and that's about it.
It's much nicer because we're not opening two of things. Because it used to be I'd open a package of something out there because I didn't realize he had an open package in here and we'd have two of everything. But so not of everything.
So not snacking is a huge one. Walking past food, especially foods like, somebody made banana bread recently. And so there's banana bread sitting on the island in the kitchen. And I look at that, and even if I'm hungry, I think, that's an awful lot of sugar. It's an awful lot of carbs, an awful lot of flour and sugar and stuff. Is it really worth it? And if I'm actually hungry, instead I'll go to the freezer and I'll grab some mixed berries and I'll put in some cream or some plain yogurt or something like that.
Or nuts.
Well, I'm just saying, like, things that I go to instead. Like, okay, am I looking at this because, hey, this looks like something that I would crave and therefore I should eat it? Or is it saying, no, this is just the only reason you even thought about food is because you walked past this food and you saw it. And that's hard to change, because I mean we still have food in the house, obviously,
and I've cleaned
it's around.
I've cleaned up the kitchen, so certain things are now not sitting on the counter anymore, but a tray of banana bread is bigger and it doesn't fit in
but like
cupboard.
the bread, they made bread for the first time in a while, last week or something. So instead of having bread sitting on the counter right next to the butter where it's just like, hey, eat me
for it.
Yeah, you're just sitting there asking for it, bub. We found a place to put that where it's not in view all the time. Also, instead of looking at, I can't have this and I can't have that, I think of, I can have this. This is a good option. And it's not that anybody's saying I can't have anything. The other night, what was the occasion for?
Malachi's birthday.
Malachi's birthday, that's right. Malachi's birthday was Monday. So the other night, Grandma bought, maybe it was Tuesday. It was recently.
I don't know, maybe it was Monday.
Today's Saturday. It was recently. It was the 13th, whatever day of the week that is. Yeah, because there I went to the doctor. So anyhow, Grandma bought us Chinese food, and she wanted to buy Chinese food or pizza or something for the whole family to celebrate his birthday. And we talked about, well, do we just go do something different? Like, do I go get a burger? Do I make something special for me that would be more keeping with my diet? And you know what I said? I said, who cares? It's a time to celebrate our son's birthday. It's
Feasting.
a time as a family to feast in a proper way. Now, you shouldn't feast every day.
Right.
But you also shouldn't fast every day to some extent.
And we didn't feast, like, to the point of gluttony. Like, people felt full afterwards, but for our family, so our family is us, 7 children, one of them not really eating much, and Grandma. Right. So we had 10 people eating, and we got 5 meals.
Right, 5 of
shared
the dinners, yeah.
Shared 5 of the dinners and then 8 spring rolls.
And just for the record, my kids eat more than I do, so don't think that, hey, Daddy had a whole meal to himself and somebody else had a whole meal to themselves and the kids had little bits.
No.
The kids out-eat us.
Yeah.
Easily. Definitely.
So those meals were split, so it definitely wasn't... I mean, some people would get a Chinese food meal and eat the whole thing. You used to.
I ate the General Tso's and I ate the crab rangoons, but I did not eat the rice. And I didn't do any of the sauces or things like that on extra. I didn't have my fortune cookie. The things that I skipped, but I enjoyed the chicken.
And you didn't eat the special dessert for his birthday.
Right. You guys, somebody bought
chocolate pudding.
Chocolate.
No, we made
Naomi made chocolate pudding, which is one of my favorites, and I didn't eat any of it. And Virginia also bought ice cream for some special occasion, maybe for his birthday the other day. And I also didn't eat any of that. So I'm finding other things that are better for me. And let's all face it, ice cream is,
I'll be right back.
let's face it, ice cream is not a great thing for anybody to eat on a regular basis or a large amount. And I know me, and I know my weaknesses. And so some of those things are weaknesses for me, but I think to some extent it was also a victory in that I was able to see everyone, my whole family sitting there enjoying chocolate ice cream. And, well, some had chocolate, some had vanilla, because she bought 2 cartons. And see this chocolate pudding, it's homemade, it's really, really yummy, and just say, I don't really want that. I think the next day there was a little leftovers. I had a little bite, just like 1 spoonful, so that I could, hey, I got the flavor, the taste, it made me think, oh, this is enjoyable, but I didn't have to eat a giant bowl of it in order to be happy. And also finding happiness in watching your family enjoy something, even if you're not eating it or doing whatever. So then there was, so that was the other day with
boy.
Hey, special birthday boy. He is 1 year old now, as of Monday or Tuesday or whatever day the 13th was. And you are a year old. And you got a new swing in the kitchen.
He loves
where we put up the therapy swing out in the kitchen, and we need to do a video because of the living room rearrangement.
Oh, yeah,
we did a video before, but we didn't do an after. So now we're going to have to do an after video to show where we moved everything and where it all went. Nope, not touching. Nope.
He wants to be the cameraman.
Yeah, that's Daddy's job. Sorry, bub. So yeah, enjoying food, but not dwelling so much on food. When we were counting, like the first week or so, when I was like counting everything, putting it into an app and all that, I felt like that was really way too much concentration on food. Instead, now I have principles. Okay.
Yeah, we also thought we
certain things I want to avoid, certain things I want to do. Let's do this way. And I'm still seeing the same results, even though I'm not being fanatical about it. So the other day, I was going to get to the other day.
Oh, okay.
So was it yesterday that I didn't eat and didn't eat and didn't eat and didn't eat and didn't eat? So yesterday I woke up and I was like, yeah, I had a snack last night before bed, so I'm probably going to be hungry this morning. Because that's usually what happens. If I snack before bed, I will then be hungry in the morning, which doesn't make any sense. Like, you put food in more recently, why would you do that? It has to do with insulin spikes, blood sugar, all that kind of stuff. So I had eaten a snack the night before. Actually, more like a meal in the evening. So, but that had only been my 3rd meal of the day. I had had lunch about noonish, dinner about 5-ish, and then I had this, it wasn't cookies and chips and stuff. It wasn't anything like that. It was like good meal kind of food, a small meal, about 9 o'clock. And then I didn't go to sleep till like 10:30.
I think that was the night we had the pizza.
What pizza?
Wasn't it? Like the homemade.
Oh, that I made a pizza.
Yeah, like a low carb pizza thingy.
Like a lavash bread. It only has like 4 net carbs or something like that. Something like that. And then some cheese and some pepperoni. Like put some meat on there. Put a bunch of veggies on there. All that kind of whatever I can put on a pizza. I like pizza. But I like veggies on pizza, except mushrooms. Those are fungus, not vegetables. Just so we're clear. So the night before, I had a snack, and then I woke up. Maybe it was yesterday morning. Whatever morning I woke up, I had a snack the night before. That usually means I'll feel hungry in the morning. I didn't feel hungry in the morning. And it was about 11 or 11:30, and they're getting ready to do lunch and make stuff. And Sarah said, so what do you want for lunch? And I'm like, I'm really not hungry right now. And then we got doing something else, and it was like 1:30, and I'm like, I'm really not hungry. And then it was like 3:30, and Sarah's like, are you just trying not to eat, or are you actually not hungry?
Hold on. Yeah, because Mark can be obsessive compulsive about things, and I wanted to make sure that he wasn't just like, ooh, what tough guy can I be, how far can I go, because that's Mark.
Because I'm a man. Yes, anyway. Yeah, so she wanted to make sure, okay, you're not hungry and tired and weak and needing something. And I was like, I'm really not. I wasn't doing a lot of exercise. I had a walk earlier. And then
you were tired, but we had just finished moving the furniture.
Yeah, then we moved some furniture, which I did some of it, but they did a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like I helped out. So being part of it, but not.
Mark is more of our, he figures out how to do it.
I'm the tool guy.
Yeah, but you figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And then he's also like our brute force. Not necessarily with lifting, but like we had to slide a desk across the room. So like he could push.
I weigh 300 pounds. I can push something.
he's not falling with something. This desk was big enough, even if he had fallen into it, it wouldn't have fallen over.
Yeah,
So
right.
He's just our brute force.
Yeah, can't do that kind of stuff very often, but when we need to, it's nice that I'm still big
We
enough
did
I
the
can do
whole
that.
like moving the recliners and
Sweeping and all that kind of garbage. And the kid, Josiah's running around with washing down the wall because we had this big desk. It's kind of tall, and there was like dust behind us. He's like washing the wall. He scrubbed a point on the door trim to the point where he was trying to get the dirt off it. He got the dirt off it all right. He actually scrubbed all the paint off it.
He's like, whoops.
He's like,
whoops.
what happened here? The dirt's gone. Yeah, so is the paint. But anyway, where was I? So I didn't eat until like 4 something in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It was after 4 before I ate. So that's what I'm still doing, is I'm trying to eat when I'm hungry and not eat when I'm not hungry. And that makes
Just
meals a
tell him
little
not to
weird,
be
but not
stubborn.
terrible. Yeah. I don't want to be stubborn. I don't want to be foolish. In fact, I'm feeling a little hungry now, and I may eat something when we get done with this video, which is fairly early for me.
It is like 10:30.
Okay, like 10:30. So maybe 11:30 I'll eat something. Maybe the short term will pass and I'll be okay. Now I don't want to starve myself. I don't want to be foolish and drive, press forward when I'm sick and not feeling well. Not by any means. So trying to find that balance between not eating when you're not hungry, eating things that are good for you, that are food, that are nourishing when it's time to eat, and not being obsessive about it. I had a piece of bread a couple days ago too, with some butter on it. And it was like, you know what? I haven't had bread in forever. I had a piece of bread. I didn't have 6. I didn't eat a whole loaf of bread. I had 1. I might have had 2.
I think you only had one that night.
I only had 1. See, this is what she's here for, to remind me that I only had 1. So anyhow, I had a piece of bread. Not going without, but being wise. Trying to make wise choices. We're trying to make choices that make sense. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
And we're definitely not doing keto. Like, a lot
No.
of keto is a certain number of carbs and everything. And it's not that Mark's eating way too many carbs, but he's not shying away from fruit. Like,
Right.
He might make more choice of berries than he makes of other fruit.
Right.
But when he sees an apple around and feels like he wants an apple, he'll eat an apple. It's
Yeah.
not...
Because apples are good for you.
What?
Yeah, they are. And bananas are good for you too. They got a lot of potassium, which is something people tend to need, but depending on how they're eating and what they're doing for exercise and stuff.
Who was
Potassium.
that? He's just screaming at himself.
He's really cute, just so we're all clear. He's being silly and
do you wanna
funny
come
and
see them?
cute.
Come see the
But he's
peeps.
off camera. Maybe we should turn the camera
Hi,
to him.
peeps.
Because they'd rather look at him anyway. Hey, baby.
Are you cute?
So that's about all. I think that's all we got on the weight loss part. I don't know if we got anything else we have to say.
Nope.
Nope, I think that's it. We're just going to do a weight loss video. So anyhow, we're like a little shy of 4 weeks down through this. We're like 26 days in or something. 15 pounds down. I feel a little more stamina. She says I'm getting smaller.
He is. When I hug him, I
around the
get
middle?
my arms around him better.
Right. She used to be able to like wrap her arms around me and get like here. Now she can like wrap her arm. Oh, wow. That was loud. Oh, it scared a baby. Oh, I'm jolly baby. So anyway, I'm getting smaller. I'm getting lighter. I'm feeling a little bit better as far as stamina.
But he still has his spells.
I still have a lot of spells. In fact, right now I'm really not feeling well, and my legs are tingling, and you're still cute. You're still cute. Yeah. Oh, he's off camera, and he's on camera.
Where'd you go?
And he's weird.
Where'd you go?
So anyhow, we're going to wrap up there. So still pressing on, pressing forward. We'll try to do some more videos. Try to do them once a week. I know we've been slacking on some things, but we've gotten some other videos up that you've done. Mm-hmm. You've done some cleaning and organizing.
And it hasn't really been slacking. We've been trying to enjoy the last of summer.
Right. We've been outside a lot, just trying to get all the fresh air we can get before the snow hits. Mm-hmm. And so we do, if you have any good ideas for, man, what was I going to ask about? It's really hard being me sometimes because I get halfway through one sentence and I don't know what I'm doing. But don't worry, I'm fine. That's all we got to say. She's going to take the baby. We're going to go. The kids are hanging out with Grandma out in the living room, and we're going to go hang out with them. So we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.